Kia ora, good morning. Well, after the bombs I just dropped in the last live, here's another one for you. I finally figured out who England's Rose is. Remember I had the dream about King Charles and Vladimir Putin? And Vladimir Putin and they were dressed in like tuxedos, and I had a gown on and I took my shoes off because I was uncomfortable walking in heels, and we were celebrating, and the king and Vladimir were talking in the corner, and the king was handed a gold dragon key by Vladimir Putin, and then the king went through the rapture and he woke up, and then Britain was celebrating. I'll put a link in the description box below. I've been trying to figure out who England's Rose is. I thought it was a racehorse. I went down so many avenues trying to figure out who the hell England's Rose was. And I finally figured it out. William Hyde Wollaston is the man who discovered rhodinum. He's the English chemist from England who discovered rhodinum and gave it the Greek name Rhodinum, which translated in English means rose. I've just done some digging. His father, by the way, didn't believe in the Holy Trinity. He was a priest. A Church of England priest, and he didn't believe in the Holy Trinity. So I'm thinking that maybe I've been given the help of because remember, my daughter is the ninth element, and remember, I'm an elemental alchemist, and William Hyde Wollaston is a chemist, which is a form of alchemy. And she's a ninth element resurrection, which is why I've been getting all these help in the codes from people like the Queen Victoria, Princess Diana, Tsar Nicholas, my Amber, my girl Amber, Rosemary, and my Auntie Kay, my mum and that, all these people that have crossed over. The resurrection. My daughter must be manifesting. She must have picked her baby daddy and she's getting ready to manifest because, it's all coming up. The symbols in that. She's the resurrectionist. She's the element for the resurrection. So, and we're coming into spring. So William Hyde Wollaston is England's Rose. He's the one that discovered rhodinum. He also discovered palladium and osmium as well. I've had a look. There's companies in Bradford down the road from me that deal in rhodinum. The 10 largest companies in the world that trade in it, one of them is in London. The 10 biggest companies in the world. And oddly enough, while gold and silver is crashing, Russia owns a big rhodinum mine. So they're one of the largest producers of it in Siberia. And it's used for cars and medical equipment and dental stuff and all sorts of things. But oddly enough, would you believe that the price of them's risen since gold and silver has collapsed? Funny that. And there's people that trade in it in my local area, and this is where they have been doing all that stuff off the Bella One. The Greater Manchester, Yorkshire area is where all hell broke loose when they pulled off that thing off the west coast. And there's literally people that trade in it. One of them is even a government website, a government funded company that trade in rhodinum, and the shares of them have risen. As gold is falling, rhodinum's rising. Rhodium? Rhodinum? Oh, I can't, because I'm exhausted now. I can't, it's hard for me to take all of this in. Rhodinum. I'm trying to remember it all without having to write any of it down, because I'm having to process a lot of information. My brain is working like a quantum computer. And I'm exhausted. I've just eaten. I'm full. I want to sleep. Rhodinum. England's Rose. The man who discovered rhodinum is England's Rose. I thought it was a racehorse. I found a racehorse called England's Rose. I was like, oh, because the Queen loved horse racing, and because I was thinking becoming spellbound, but no, it's a chemist. I can't believe it. And I'm going to put links in the description box below. I think he's maybe come to help me out because his father didn't believe in the Holy Trinity, and me, Vladimir, and Charles are the Holy Trinity bloodline. And because I'm a elemental alchemist and he's a chemist, and it's basically the same thing, because when you mix rhodinum with things like copper and alloys and all that sort of thing, it creates other things as well. I'll put links in the description box. I'm going to put some screenshots up as well. It's going to blow your mind. So they're stealing stuff out from under the king. And now I finally figured out what England's Rose means. It's a person. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. But it's all because it's a cry for help from Papatūānuku, because they're mining her, they're hurting her, they don't have permission to do it, they're stealing it. And then it just seems odd that the price of rhodinum has risen at the time that gold and silver are crashing. And they use rhodinum in jewellery, so they use it with gold and silver. They mix rhodinum with gold and silver. They use it in car engines. They use it for all sorts of medical equipment. So it might be why they're dicking about with the NHS, why they're trying to get rid of people, bring in the vaccines and all of that, because all these precious metals are going into medical equipment, and if people are being denied medical treatment, they don't need the medical equipment. They can keep all the precious metals to themselves. I can't believe England's Rose is a man. Who saw that coming? Well, I mean, I did, but I just didn't tell me because I had to leave me to figure it all out by myself. That's so typical of me. So, yeah, and it turns out his father didn't believe in the Holy Trinity. He believed that Archangel Michael, my brother Michael, created mankind and was Jesus Christ. So then obviously his sons come along, realised the role that he was going to play in the takedown of the New World Order in order to protect the British monarchy, and thought, I need to play my part, and I'll come through in these codes for this physicist, this indigenous physicist, because I need to do my part to make up for the fact that my dad raised us to believe that the Holy Trinity is real, but this physicist has proved that the Holy Trinity is real and exists in the bloodlines of three of the most powerful people in the world when it comes to defeating Lucifer. King Charles, Vladimir Putin, and me. And King Charles and Vladimir Putin have both dealt with cancer, pancreatic, and did the king have bowel cancer or pancreatic cancer as well? So they need to hurry up and get better, because God has plans for them both. And None of it is resulting in them dying before their time, so they can bloody well just shush. Not on my watch. I know for a fact that Vladimir Putin's got a long way to go yet. I'm not done with terrorising him. I swear to God, those two men are going to be glad to see the back of me. So now it all makes sense. It also makes sense as to why it was Vladimir Putin that handed King Charles the gold key, because Russia has a mine here. They're one of the largest miners, because Siberia, Russia is one of the biggest producer of these precious metals, which is why they would have targeted Russia for the war. So once they overthrew Russia and won the war, they would have been able to steal all the metals. Remember, Donald Trump was trying to get Zelensky and Russia to hand over their precious metals. Better not. If this is all the things that Britain is producing, and they literally are selling it down the road from where, actually, the guy, this is God having a sense of humour, the guy Mikey, that laced the weed on behalf of Chris, is from Bradford. And it's just down the road. And that's where they're selling it. And it's all where that activity kicked off is where all the mines are and where they're selling it all. And the UK is in the top 10 of the largest sellers and traders of it. And I don't think the king knows that they've been mining it right out from under his feet and selling it out from under his feet. It might be why that they're dicking about with the NHS, because they use it in a lot of dental and medical equipment. And it's worth a lot of money, people. It's worth a lot of money. And if they kill everyone off, they don't have to use any of the medical equipment. They can keep it all for themselves. So that gold key, because it's in jewellery, you see, they mix it with gold and silver and all that to make, expensive jewellery. And it'll probably be why I've been dreaming about rings and keys and stuff. So I'll put links in the description box, but now we know who England's Rose is. William Hyde Wollaston. The dead are resurrecting. I mean, it makes sense. We're coming into spring. We've already got daffodils popping up, believe it or not. So, and we are coming into spring. We're coming into resurrection season, Lazarus season. It's a Lazarus moment, the resurrection of the dead. And they're all rising up to defend the king and Russia. But I conjured them anyway, so remember I opened up the portal between heaven and hell, and now they're all turning up. Oh, excuse me, I'm friggin' exhausted already. Like, you have no idea how, because I have to use my brain like a quantum computer. And I don't have enough protein in my diet. I'm supposed to be eating a lot of meat and stuff, and meat here is, everything here is very expensive. So I do what I can. I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it, to be honest. So there you go. So I'll put links in the description box. I'm sorry my words because I'm naked. Oh, good. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, and I'll put the link to England's Rose. Although I have done it before. You'll know what I'm talking about. But it was in King Charles getting this key that he ended up having the rapture and saw the light. And when he saw the light, everybody else saw the light with him. So there you go. England's Rose is William Hyde Wollaston. Oh, just when you think just when I think I've got it figured out, more codes drop in, it just like expands everything. I can't believe I thought it was a racehorse. Oh my God. But you have to go down these, I have to pull on these threads to see if it is going to end up forming a tapestry. But now we know. It hit me like a ton of bricks. When I was investigating the metals yesterday, it briefly crossed my path, the man who discovered rhodinum. And yeah, I get there eventually. So I'll put links. You'll see where they all are in the UK. It's all there. And so now you know why the earthquakes. Now you know why they pulled off that crap with the Bella One. In some of the links, it even talks about the shipping companies shipping them out on at the docks. So I was right. My hunch was right. And now I just need the king to wake up and hold them all responsible. I need to try and figure out what the name is, but there's a law that is to do with, specifically to do with stealing from the king, stealing from the monarch. They'll be able to add that to high treason and petty treason. So it'll also be why it was like Wigan and Rochdale and all that the councils that have applied for mining rights, because it's all around this way. So anyway, I'll put links in the description box below. Oh, excuse me. But now we know. Now we know who England's Rose is. Now we know why for all of it. I just need the king to wake up and do something about it. And then Starmer and his corrupt government. And also as well, it goes back to the 90s. Remember I said go back as far as, what did I say, 2020? It looks like it's like been early 90s. Oddly enough, around the time Tony Blair was Prime Minister. Oh, gee, funny that. But now you know. And it's probably why Thatcher and that shut all the mines. It's more than likely 99.9% of the reason why Thatcher and Blair and all of that went, and Johnson and Starmer and that have been closing all the mines. Because they didn't want the miners finding what they didn't want them to find. Under the guise of net zero and climate change, but to hide the fact that they want to mine things that they don't want people to know about. Because if people knew how much these metals were worth, they'd be buying the mines and they'd be putting all their money into it, which would mean that it wouldn't. Obviously, the rarer something is, the more it's worth in them for them to invest. But if more people are investing in it, it loses its value. So if they hide its existence and its value, if they keep it all underground and people don't know about it, they won't invest in it, and then it's worth more. But because everybody started investing in gold, they tanked it so that it was worth less. Because they don't want people investing in the stuff that's rare and worth a lot of money. And it's why they would have shut all those mines down, to protect and limit people's access to the precious metals that only the rich and privileged would have access to. But mixed with other things, they make them, they put them in like electric vehicles and cars and medical equipment and that. But if they stop people from having cars and they stop people from having medical treatment, and they stop people travelling, then they don't need to use the precious metals in the medical equipment and the cars and stuff, so then they can keep the precious metals all to themselves. So now you know why they're trying to get rid of people's cars and stop them from having cars and stop people from travelling and stop people from having medical treatment, having access to medical treatment, because if nobody's using them, they don't need to use them and all that equipment, and they can keep the metals all to themselves because they're that evil and greedy. Look at the screenshots that I'm going to put up, or just go to the links, but it's all there in black and white. And like now, you can't unsee this whole why the New World Order, why the World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, NATO and that. Now you can't unsee it. They use it for the AI, they use it for the robots, which they want to use. If they get rid of the jobs for everyone and confine everyone to their homes in 15-minute cities and bring in AI and robots to do the work for them, then they get to keep all the precious metals to themselves that would otherwise be going to cars and medical equipment and computers and all of that. And now it all makes perfect sense. The whole agenda, I've just exposed their entire agenda. And then they take it all, jump on their spaceships and go to Mars, colonise Mars, leave us to all die at the hands of robots that are prepared to shoot us all, and then they get to pretend to be aliens. Yep. So the resurrected dead and my Papa Tuanuku has just exposed the lie behind the whole New World Order agenda. What the real plan is and why they're doing what they're doing. Why they're making it so that people can't have access to the NHS and all of that. So there you go. All because of England's Rose. William Hyde Wollaston. Doing his bit to make up for the fact that his dad was wrong about the Holy Trinity. So he's resurrected through my codes to help defend the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity bloodlines. So there you go. That's it, all exposed. That's all of them exposed. The WEF, the WHO, the UN, NATO, the Commonwealth, America, all of it. That's all of them exposed. The whole lot. And the truth behind the New World Order agenda. The real truth. Not what they're just threatening people with by allowing to what they're putting out on social media, but Gecko. The truth behind the camouflage. The real truth behind what they don't want you to see. Keeping you busy with the fear of the New World Order, not realising that the real agenda is hidden behind that underground. Now it's all been exposed. Great digging, Odin. So now you know. Just come on, King Charles, wake up, please. I'm just waiting for you to wake up, brother. And then it's all over. And then we all rise up and celebrate. It'll be victory. VE Day for all of us. Right, I don't know if I should have another coffee or just have a nap. Oh, excuse me. God, I could really do with some fish and chips right now, to be honest. I haven't had fish and chips since 2022. Christmas Eve 2022. Gluten-free ones are very expensive here now. And hard for me to access, so... Well, I mean, I could just walk down the road to the Weatherby Whaler, but I'm not paying 18 quid for a piece of fish that's like half the size of my hand Because us gluten allergy sufferers, we don't get the same portions as those who don't have the allergy, and we have to pay twice as much. So anyway, so there you go. I shall speak to you later. Ka kite anō, just it's enough to make you furious, eh? Deny medical treatment so that they can keep the precious metals from the equipment for themselves, so that they can jump on these spaceships and pretend to be Martians. Good Lord, it's like something out of Lost in Space or something. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Right, I'm going to go. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.